Hi guys, it's Chris, and today we're going to be looking at some common questions and misconceptions that surround the RVI system, specifically braking systems this week. We are going to look at other products like the Towed Battery Charger Plus and Tire Patrol in the coming weeks, so make sure to check those videos out as well. But the reason we're doing this is because as the leader of our customer service department now for a few years, there's a few things that continue to come up month to month, year to year, a few questions that are really central that we want to make sure to answer in a clear and concise way, and we felt like doing these kind of grouped together in a video like this is going to be the easiest way to find this information, whether you're looking to purchase an RVI brake or whether you already own the brake and maybe you've just never thought about these questions or asked these questions, but maybe they've been on your mind. We just want to make sure you're armed with as much information as possible. So let's get started. So the first question we're going to look at is, if I have an RVI brake system, I need a battery charger, right? And the answer to that is not necessarily, no. The RVI braking systems, both the Shadow and the RVI Brake 3, are very power-friendly units. Now, this may not be true for other braking systems on the market. There are some that have a very high drain or a very high load that they place on your system. But as far as the RVI products go, there's a very low power drain there. So by themselves, they don't necessitate a battery charger on your vehicle. That's not to say you can't have one. You certainly can if you want just that peace of mind, but they're not necessary. However, there are some vehicles, and really it's every vehicle on the market, has a level of what we would call parasitic drain. And parasitic drain is basically when the towed vehicle is draining its own battery as you're towing. Now, some vehicles have a higher level of parasitic drain than others. For example, Jeeps, very low on that scale, really don't need a battery charger over a full day of towing, even with the braking system added in, again, unless you just want it for peace of mind. However, there's other vehicles, GMC and Chevy vehicles kind of immediately come to mind, a lot of Fords, where they do have a very high parasitic drain and they do need a battery charger. We're compensating for the vehicle, not necessarily for the presence of a braking system or anything else. So that's really the critical component here. So if you're not sure if you need a battery charger, definitely make sure to check out our specific vehicle products page. We've kind of over the years compiled a page that has pretty much every towed vehicle that is out there and what kind of products they will need in addition to the braking system. So if you're unsure whether or not your vehicle falls into one category or the other, check out that page and that'll kind of let you know for sure whether or not you're going to need a battery charger in conjunction with your braking system. Next up, can I use a braking system if I'm dolly towing? The answer to this question is no, unfortunately. So the RVI brake system, again, Shadow or RVI Brake 3, they're designed for flat towing purposes, not for dolly towing. However, some vehicles can only be dolly towed or flat towed. There's very few vehicles nowadays that you can do both with. So before you kind of get started in your RVing journey especially, make sure to look at the owner's manual of your towed vehicle, because it'll tell you, hey, this can only be dolly towed, or hey, this can be used for flat towing purposes. So again, RVI braking systems only usable in a flat towing situation. Next up, does it matter what kind of brakes I have on my RV or coach? The answer to this is no. Again, this would be a different answer for really most other braking systems on the market, specifically other installed braking systems. With a lot of installed braking systems, there's some installation required on the motorhome itself. With the RVI Brake Shadow, which is our variation of the installed braking system, there is no installation on the motorhome. It's actually a patented feature on the Shadow. Everything is contained within the hood of the towed vehicle. And so because of that, we really don't care what kind of brakes that your RV has, because the Shadow is going to operate no matter what. And the same goes for the RVI Brake 3. It really doesn't matter what kind of brakes are on the RV. We're focused on what kind of brakes are in the towed vehicle, because that's really the only key piece of information that the Shadow or the RVI Brake 3 need in order to function properly. So again, no matter what kind of brakes you've got on your RV, you're set, you're covered, you can use an RVI braking system. The next question we're going to look at is, I don't have a vacuum line, or maybe I have an active or electric braking system in my car. So is it possible for me to use an RVI brake system in that situation? The answer is yes. You can absolutely use an RVI braking system regardless of whether or not your car is set up with a vacuum braking system. In order to be able to do that with the RVI Brake Shadow specifically, you would just follow the installation instructions for how to install it in a car without a vacuum line. We've got a whole separate set of instructions within the installation guide that kind of demonstrate what you need to do there. And then for the RVI Brake 3, it's even simpler than that. You literally just need to go on your tablet and set the braking system to its active mode. Active mode is going to set it for a vehicle that has that electric assist on the pedal. And that way you can use either braking system regardless of whether or not there's a vacuum line or a vacuum system present in your car. And lastly, if something were to happen to my tablet and hub, would my braking system continue to work? The answer here again is yes. We've designed the RVI brake, again, either the Shadow or the 3, in such a way that it continues to work regardless of whether or not there is a command center present. The command center is a monitoring system, and it's really just that. It's more for you than it is for the brake. It allows you to see what the brake is doing. It gives you any error messages if, God forbid, something were to happen. But that's really what it's for. It's not to determine braking. The RVI brake system, again, Shadow or 3, is powered by an accelerometer. That accelerometer is measuring inertia, and that's what's determining the braking. So no matter what happens to your command center, no matter if you have a command center, you can still travel safely and know that your brake is working. We've designed it in that way to make sure that you are as safe as possible while traveling down the road. So guys, thanks for joining me as we've taken a look at these questions. I hope this was an informative video for you. If you've ever had these questions, or maybe you're looking to purchase a system and a few of these have popped into your head, hopefully this has kind of answered some of those for you. Again, in the coming weeks, we're going to be looking at some other products. So if you've got questions on some of our other product offerings, don't hesitate to stick around. We're going to be looking at those as well. But if you've got any questions on anything in this video or anything else in any of our other videos, don't hesitate to reach out. We're available by phone, chat, or email. In the meantime, guys, happy RVing.